Well, good evening and thanks for tuning into the show. We got a lot to talk about today, but the first question I want to pose is, should defensive coordinator of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Rob Smith, be fired considering his team has kind of dropped off in terms of statistics and as well as talent throughout these past, I would say, 3 seasons at the helm?
You know, I think it has been too long. I think he's had a chance to show us what he's got through seasons, and he hasn't done it. And I think we've all given him a fair chance, and we want him to do well. We want him to succeed, and he just hasn't done it. He hasn't brought what he's needed to bring, and it's time to let him go. I don't think they're going to make any decisions right now because they still have to play that bowl game, and that would be pretty awkward if they let him go or said that they were going to, because they still do have to finish off the season. But definitely they're probably already talking about it, and everyone, I think we're all suspecting that's going to happen.
Right, that's definitely a fair assessment there. What do you think? Would you agree with her?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Katherine. I believe that, something's got to be done. It's progressively gotten worse because whenever Rob, came in the beginning 3-4 years ago, our defense wasn't bad. That was the driving force for Razorbacks a couple years ago, was the defense, and we just didn't have an offense. And then now that the offense is built up, our defense is Razorback defense is going down, and something needs to be done if we want to start winning those games.
Right, now this poses a different question in terms of which side of the ball is the most important when you think about football. SEC football defense is kind of king when you think of an Alabama and LSU, the teams that can, traditionally are competing for the titles. So would you say that the key for the Razorbacks to get those 10, 11 win seasons is actually building up the defense?
Well, I think right now the O-line is even just starting. They have a new system going for them, and right now they're not on top of their game, but it's building, and you see potential right there. Whereas on the defense side of things, it's just not there, and there needs to be changes, something that's done. Whereas offense is like potential. It's like, yes, we see them coming in, the players, they're getting stronger, and the system, it's gradually getting better. Where defense is like, there has to be something changed. It's just not happening.
Right. Would you agree with that?
Defense can win games. I mean, it takes two. You got to have an offense that is willing. You got to score. But defense can win games. I've watched games where it has been all defense and, turnovers and stops. And if you're going to play defense, you can win these games. And whenever you don't have that defense, the offense can't do it all.
That's right. I mean, you think of that game against Ole Miss earlier in the season. Defense won that football game for the Razorbacks. Or at the last drive, where Chad Kelly fumbled the football out of bounds, caused by a hit there by the defense. Well, hey, that's all the time we have today. Tune in next time for another great show. Hey, well, good evening. Thanks for tuning into the show. We got something great to talk about today, and that is the topic of head coaching and just how involved a head coach should be in their program. When you think about the Louisville basketball scandal a while back, where Rick Pitino's graduate assistant hired a bunch of strippers to fraternize with the players and I guess try to entice them to come to their program, Rick Pitino said, pretty much, in effect, doesn't fall on me, this falls on the people under me, because I cannot be directly, dipping my hand into the cookie jar in terms of that. So would you guys say that a head coach should be involved enough to where he would know about something like that before it happens?
Completely. I think on and off the field, the coach is something you should look up to, and they need to be involved in areas of your life because you're spending time with them. Like, these players are spending more time with them than they are anywhere else in their life. They're like, it's a job, your sport is. So a coach should be someone that you look up to, that you go seek advice from, that should be involved in your life that anyone else isn't. He should almost act as a parent to these kids, and he should completely have some influence in their life and should be behind them and be accountable for those kind of actions that these players take.
Yeah. Right.
First of all, I just want to say, ew. Coaches, people out there, no. You should know what's going on in your program. And if those head coaches say, hey, I had no idea what was going on, you're responsible for the consequences that your players have. You should know what's going on. You should know the academics as well. You should know that makes better players. So you should definitely know what's going on. If you can't get a hold on your program and you don't know what's going on behind your back, maybe you should rethink about what you're doing. And So I think they're 110% accountable for everything that goes on behind their back, because that's their program. You are the head leader. You are the king. You should know what's going on in your kingdom. If you don't, then that's a failure on the coach's part.
Well, absolutely. Very good points there, ladies. All right. Well, hey, that's about all the time we have here tonight. Check us out next time, same place. Well, good evening and welcome to the show. And we got a couple stars here. Speaking of stars, the Dallas Cowboys, hey, they've only lost one game all season, even though they have a rookie quarterback, and their first-round draft pick, Ezekiel Elliott, is also a rookie, and both of them are honestly in the MVP race. Are you surprised that the Cowboys, even without Tony Romo, everybody's golden boy, have been able to do this, to roll off the best record in the NFL at this point in the season?
Well, yes. Actually surprised because they are two rookies running the team, Dak and Zeke Elliott. And surprised because they are rookies, but obviously excited about it because it's awesome. Like, that's incredible that they've both been able to pull this off. And also would be undefeated if it wasn't for the first game against the New York Giants. Terrence Williams didn't run out of bounds and could have stopped the clock, gotten a field goal, and would have won that game. But a little salty about it. But anyway, still the best record in the NFL and could be Super Bowl bound. Would be really great. But yeah, it's been such an amazing season. These young guys have shown us just how amazing they can be, and everyone's really just seen how Tony's been handling it really well. He has been behind Dak throughout the whole process, and he's just been really great about it. And I think they've just, as a team, have really pulled together and just played some really great games. And I'm excited to see what holds next.
Well, definitely great sportsmanship there by Mr. Tony Romo. What do you agree with her? Or do you have
Yeah,
your
no,
take on it?
I'd have to elaborate a little bit more on what she said about Romo being behind Prescott. He is still there. He is still, Prescott is doing an amazing job. It takes great execution. But Romo being on that headset, whenever you think about it while you're in the game, it's fast. But for Romo being great on the field, it's kind of easier to step back and see what's going on and relay that to your quarterback. So I feel like Romo might maybe have a future in being a quarterback coach, or maybe being signed on as in the coaching staff. I think he might have a future there.
Absolutely. We'll have to see. I know the Broncos are interested in him, and then there's, I'm sure, a couple other teams would be happy to have Tony Romo in that backfield. I could not agree with that more. But anyway, that's all the time we have here. Definitely some great points and a great discussion. We'll see you next time for another great discussion.